The two latest updates out of Pittsburgh have Steelers fans caught between frustration and full-on alert. First, the defense's embarrassing performance against the Bengals exposed a problem few are really talking about, and Mike Tomlin's comments didn't help. Then came a twist in the Justin Fields situation, reigniting a headache that seemed long gone but now threatens to shake up the Steelers' entire direction. And the most urgent concern? It's coming from the side of the ball that's supposed to be the heart of this team, the defense. Things are getting real in Pittsburgh, and not in a good way. After getting smacked around by the Bengals in Week 7, the Steelers are licking their wounds heading into a primetime showdown on Sunday night. And Mike Tomlin's latest comments aren't exactly the confidence boost fans were hoping for. Let's be real. This was a game the Steelers should have had in the bag. They put up 31 points, which in most NFL universes is more than enough to chalk up a win. But not this one. Not when your defense decides to take the night off. Giving up 33 points to a Bengals squad that's been shaky at times? That's a problem. The defense didn't just have a bad game, it got steamrolled. Cincinnati ran at will, carved up the secondary, and pretty much did whatever they wanted offensively. For a team that's invested a truckload of resources into building a nasty defense, this was a massive step backward. Tomlin didn't sugarcoat it during his Tuesday presser. When asked what the heck went wrong, he got straight to the point. It's all really simple when you're not stopping the run. He called out gap integrity, when defenders aren't sticking to their lanes, and highlighted how things went from manageable to meltdown territory fast. They had a 25-yard run, a 37-yard run. That speaks to multi-layers of dysfunction, he said. Yikes. Gap control is defense 101. If the front line messes it up, the rest of the D has to clean up the mess. But on Thursday night, nobody did. The Bengals ran the rock 23 times for 142 yards, averaging over 6 yards a pop. And that number would have been worse if Joe Flacco hadn't knelt a few times to end the game. It was Chase Brown, in particular, who exposed the cracks. He found daylight in the second quarter and gashed the Steelers' defense with explosive plays that had Tomlin fuming. There's a gap integrity component, but the explosion play component is about netting them and keeping the ball in a constricted space. And we didn't do a good enough job of either, Tomlin added. What's worse is that the blame doesn't land on just one group. This wasn't just the front seven getting bullied. It was the whole unit collapsing. So now, instead of tweaking a single piece, the coaches have to fix an entire defensive identity that just got shredded. And guess what? There's no time to sulk. Week 8 brings the Green Bay Packers to town, and they've got Josh Jacobs, one of the most powerful backs in the game. If Pittsburgh doesn't get its run D together, and fast, Jacobs could have himself a night. With a tough stretch of games coming up, the Steelers can't afford another no-show from their defense. Sunday night's not just about bouncing back, it's about survival. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, here comes a behind-the-scenes twist that could seriously mess with the Steelers' future draft plans. Just when the Steelers thought they had dodged a bullet in the Justin Fields sweepstakes, here comes another dose of bad news to crash the party. So here's the rundown. Pittsburgh went after Fields this offseason, hoping he'd be the guy under center in 2025. But Fields gave them the cold shoulder and took a fatter 2-year, $40 million deal with the Jets instead. Now fast forward to Week 7, Fields gets benched, and the whole situation in New York is already looking like a train wreck. Head coach Aaron Glenn didn't clarify anything post-game, and then Jets owner Woody Johnson basically lit the match on the whole thing during the fall owners' meetings. If we could just complete a pass, it would look good, Johnson told reporters. Yeah, that's about as subtle as a sledgehammer. He backed Glenn as coach, but definitely didn't sound like a guy who still believes in Justin Fields. If you're reading between the lines, and honestly, you don't even have to squint, it sure sounds like Fields' time with the Jets might already be on life support. And here's where it gets worse for Pittsburgh. Even though they didn't get Fields, they were still supposed to benefit, thanks to that nice compensatory pick system. The plan? Cash in with a 4th-rounder in the 2026 NFL Draft based on Fields' contract and presumed playing time in New York. But if the benching sticks and he spends the rest of the season holding a clipboard, that pick takes a hit. Could drop a round or more. It's not nothing. The Steelers are already feeling the comp pick pain. They lost out on other expected picks tied to Russell Wilson, thanks to his benching in New York, and injuries to guys like Najee Harris, James Daniels, and Ellendon Roberts have wiped out even more projected help in the 2026 draft. So yeah, what was once shaping up to be a draft capital bonanza is slowly turning into scraps. The silver lining? They ended up with Aaron Rodgers instead of Fields, which, at least in the short term, feels like a win. Fields clearly hasn't found his footing, And Rodgers, if healthy, gives Pittsburgh a legit shot to make some noise. But if the long game was to stack picks and maybe trade up for a future franchise QB, well, that blueprint just got a whole lot blurrier. This defense needs to wake up before it turns into a season-breaking issue. And off the field, every detail matters. Nothing's safe in Pittsburgh. If you liked the video, subscribe for more Steelers updates.